All right, so the sun is fixing to go down, but I've got to get the trailer loaded because we got a trip to take in the morning and we're hauling a piece of equipment. So let's get this done. It's funny how one day this John Deere just showed up on my channel without any explanation. But I guess you're probably used to seeing YouTubers get free tractors. Well, today you're going to learn the story behind it, but you're also going to find out why I'm taking it back. All right, it's about 6:30 in the morning, which is pretty early for me, but we got a 2-hour drive ahead of us. So I guess let's get going. Hey, what's going on, folks? Bienvenue. My name is Wade, and we are not quite in the Sabine River Valley. We're kind of close to it. We're just on the other side of it. We're here in Louisiana, and I'm at one of my best friends of all time here with him, and his name is Stephen Posey. And I was thinking about this the other day when I was kind of contemplating what to talk about, and I realized that we have been friends for 30 years.
That's crazy.
So
we're not that old though.
I mean, you've got some grays, you know, I'm fighting it, but
it's coming.
It's coming.
Just wait.
So I was a sophomore. You were a freshman in high school, and we were in a class together. And I remember I was giving you the freshman welcome. And I don't remember if I had a chair and I was doing something with, like, I had you pinned up between the legs of a chair or something on the wall. And we were laughing. I was laughing. You were kind of laughing. Yeah. You were kind of unsure.
I think I barely knew you at that point.
You didn't really know me, but I was sitting there with the chair and you said, "Hey, you want to come to church with me on Wednesday? And I was like, sure. Yeah. And so I went to church with you.
Yeah.
And here we are working on tractors now.
Working on tractors and raising kids.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah. Raising children.
Yep. So why did y'all buy this tractor? What was the purpose of getting this?
So we moved down to out of town to an area outside the city, and so we bought a piece of property, and probably within 2 or 3 months of us buying our property, Dad was like, "Where now? I need to find some property down here where y'all are, so I can be close to it." So that's a great idea. And so when we did that, we bought some acreage, and Dad was like, "We need to get a tractor." And so I said, "I don't disagree. We do need a tractor. We're gonna, we got to keep this up, bush hog, and so that's kind of why we went that direction and got a tractor. We had owned a tractor before, but it was just a bush hog. I mean, that's all it was for, and it really didn't have a purpose other than to bush hog. You couldn't do much other with it other than that, because we didn't have implements and it didn't have a front end loader, and so that's kind of the reason why Dad's like, yeah, we're gonna have to do some stuff around here. And Dad wasn't able to do anything. He was in a state of his disability that he couldn't do anything. But so I meant I got to do it all. But that's kind of the reason why.
So how many tractor brands did y'all look at?
One. Dad wanted a John Deere. He knew without a doubt that he had to have a John Deere.
And so this all happened around about a year after the COVID exploded. And so it was pretty hard to get any type of product. I mean, you couldn't buy toilet paper. Right. And so tractors were very hard to get.
Right.
So how were y'all able to find this tractor?
So Dad did call around. He probably called every John Deere dealership around this area. It helped that his cousin my dad's cousin owned like 19 dealerships up in Alabama. So it was John Deere. He owned 19 John Deere dealerships.
Wow.
And in Alabama area, and was at the time one of the largest John Deere dealership owners in the country.
Okay. At
one point in time. And so Dad had opportunity, and I think that's another reason Dad really wanted a John Deere, is because his cousin, which was one of his best friends, was a John Deere guy. Okay. And so, but he had connections, and we were able to find a machine and that we were looking for, and it just happened so that the place we ended up getting it from, they had just received a large shipment of tractors, and they were one of the first ones to receive them in our area, and so there wasn't a problem getting it at that time.
Okay.
And so, I mean, it was I know that he looked for a year before we found one.
Okay. So. Do you remember the first thing that you did with the tractor? The first use that you had with it?
We bush hogged. Because when we bought it, it came with it was a package deal that the dealership was doing. So it came with the tractor and a 5-foot bush hog, and so that's the first thing. Literally, we bought it. At the time, we had already bought our property, and we built a shop on our property. We were living in our shop, out of our camper, and so we brought it to my property, and then we bush hogged the whole entire property for the first time, because we'd been mowing it with a 60-inch mower, and so it just took forever. That was the first thing. Of course, Dad was just grinning ear to ear. Like, we got it down there, got it to the property, and he loved it. He couldn't drive it because he was disabled, but he loved knowing the fact that we had a tractor.
Yeah. A John Deere?
A John Deere tractor.
Yeah. You got anything, any memories of that? Something?
Yeah, I got a good memory of that. So we had a trailer. We had a 16-foot with a rear dovetail, and it was a custom trailer Dad had, and so it was just a slight slope dovetail at the back. And so when we bought it, it came with a box blade too. So it came with a package with a box blade, the bush hog, and the tractor. And so when we went and picked it up, he didn't think with the bush hog it was going to be able to fit on the trailer with the box blade, and he was correct. It wouldn't. So when we bought it, we had to take the back, because there's a dovetail down to another, it wasn't a full dovetail. It actually had a ramp. So we had to take the ramp off of the back of the trailer to go pick the tractor up. And so the memory of that is when we taking it off was easy, because it was it was compression fit, but going back on, the way the torque on that bar that went in, it was not coming out. But there was no pins or anything holding in, but it was not coming out. And so we had to bend that bar back to put it in there. And it took us about 2 or 3 hours to get the actual, the ramp back on that thing. And so that's the memory I have, is we're sitting there with the tractor trying to shove this. So actually, I guess that's not correct. The first thing we did with the tractor is put the gate back on the trailer that we had taken off. And, that was tough.
It's funny when you buy a tractor, especially if it's kind of your first major tractor. You don't realize the things that are going to happen with that tractor that you didn't expect.
Yeah.
The first time for me was drive it from the dealership to our property.
Yeah.
We weren't out there yet. We were in the process of building.
Right.
And took it all down, got it out, and drove around.
Yeah.
I had the grapple, so I could, do something, but it was just me riding around in it.
Exploratory.
Yeah. But then I brought the tractor back to the trailer.
Yeah.
And loaded it.
Okay.
And did not realize at that moment, loading that sucker with the chains and the binders in over 100 degree temperature.
Miserable.
I was like, I have made the worst decision. This is going to kill me.
Right.
I was a lot heavier then. I was like 100 pounds heavier.
Right.
It was tough on me then. And so, I didn't realize there were just these small things. That's nothing. I mean, that's just loading and unloading, right? That's not even out, I hadn't even, figured out when a piece of an implement doesn't want to come off. Right. You got to fight that.
I was going to say, custom because the implement's stuck on the tractor.
Yeah. So, I mean, something like that, this was just putting chains on it and taking them off. Right. So just those small things you never think of. Right. So you were the one that was using this tractor. You took care of your, like, the grass and everything on your property. How many acres do you have?
We have 5 acres.
So you took care of that with it. You cleaned that up. You also cleaned up your parents. And do you know how many acres they have?
5 acres as
5
well.
acres. So you took care of this over here.
Yep.
They both, you have a rock driveway and they have a rock driveway. And so I know that your mom's driveway has to, you have to take care of it a lot. There's a lot of upkeep.
Well, there's a lot of upkeep to it. Yes. And then that's what I do. I keep both of our driveways up with gravel, new gravel, grading it to make sure, because it's where we're at. Kind of there's clay and it gets wet, and so you have to probably once a year redo it. But the problem with mom's driveway is that the water flow through their property is not well regulated. They had some issues with their ditches from the parish police jury that they didn't keep the ditches off, so they pull water up in her front yard, and it would wash her driveway out. And so probably 3 times a year we have to really do some heavy maintenance on her driveway using the tractor and a box blade.
Yeah. And that's, I was going to point out the box blade.
Yeah.
So I don't use a box blade.
Yeah.
I use a land plane, which is like, it's like the cheat code, but you're running a box blade and you've gotten pretty good at using it.
Yeah.
And I came over here and tried to use your box blade on that driveway, and I think I made more of a mess than I did helping it.
No.
So you've gotten pretty good with that on there. So you've been taking care of everything, but this is it's your dad's tractor.
Yeah, Dad bought it, right?
But then a little over a year ago, your dad passes away.
Yep.
So, and your dad, we call him Steve P.
Steve P.
And so that's what I've named the tractor.
Steve P. Yeah.
So, and the tractor has become yours.
It is.
Basically.
Yep.
Right. And so, well, I come over, and it was right after your dad passed, and that's when I was out there destroying the driveway. And, I enjoyed it. Yeah. I enjoyed using it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the hydrostat on it and everything, but I noticed that, like a lot of John Deere's, they're pricey, and the options are even pricier. So the tractor basically is just the tractor with the loader and bucket
Right.
and the 3-point hitch with PTO on it.
Right.
But you don't have any kind of hydraulics, anything on there to do anything else with it.
Right.
And so I remember pointing that out, going,
yeah.
man, you need some
Yeah.
hydraulics on this thing. And I know how much it costs to add hydraulics to a tractor like that, especially if you do OEM on it.
Yeah. And then I priced it out too. It was going to be costly.
Yeah.
Just for that little tractor.
So to tell you a story, I started working with my first channel partner, which is Victory Tractor Implements. And they sent me flail mowers and different pieces of equipment to show off on the channel, to make videos on, to show the installs and then actual using it.
Right.
Well, my tractor is a utility tractor. It's 67 horsepower, so it's a little bigger. There's a lot of implements that Victory sells that I can't really show with that tractor.
Right.
And I told them, I said, you know, we were on a call one day, and I said, I would love to be able to show off some more of this stuff. And I said, I could maybe rent a tractor sometime to do that. I was thinking about that.
Right.
And I remember I told one of the guys I was talking to, I said, I've got a friend with around a 35-ish, 40 horsepower John Deere tractor. And I would love to maybe use that tractor to do some stuff with this.
Right.
The only problem is it doesn't have hydraulics on it. There's no hydraulics. And the guy that I was talking to, he made the comment, and he said, well, maybe you could get one of these companies to sponsor your channel and do an install.
Right.
And they would send you the stuff and it wouldn't cost you anything.
Right.
And so that got into my head. Now, this was early on.
Right.
And at the time, I was like, okay, well, maybe in the far future, that would be possible.
Right.
But so I just kind of kept that in my back pocket. And so I started working with Victory, doing the videos and everything. I had a couple of videos that got to 100,000 or over 100,000, and which is, I'm still a very small channel, but that was pretty cool to have.
Oh, absolutely.
To have that. I would call that a mini viral video, right? It was like a micro viral.
Right.
And so I started getting companies like emailing me and asking me, hey, would you like to use our product? And I don't do that much, because a lot of the companies that are doing that, they're not really tractor related. And so my viewers wouldn't want to watch it.
Right.
And YouTube wouldn't know who to send it to, really.
Right.
So, but when this started happening, I thought, well, maybe I could reach out to a company and ask about the rear remotes. So I reached out to Summit Hydraulics, and I just sent them an email, and I said, hey, my name's Wade. I have this channel. I started it this month. It's a few months later. Here's the growth that I've had.
Right.
I have access to a John Deere 3038E, and you have a rear remote kit for it. Would you be interested in me doing a video on that and showing that off? You can see, I do a detailed install and all this. And they actually responded pretty quickly and were just, yes, we'll do it. We'll send you whatever.
Right.
So I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Right. So I remember I called you, and because I hadn't talked to you about this yet at all. So I'm already talking to them about it, but I hadn't talked to you about it.
But I'm over here looking at Summit's website saying, let me figure out how to get this rear remote. Like literally.
So I called you and I said, hey man, nothing is set in stone, but this is a possibility. Would you be okay with that? And you were like, I don't really think that would be good for me.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
No, I didn't say that at all.
You were like,
I've already been looking at it.
So that worked out.
Yeah.
And in fact, when I was on the call with them, the first thing they asked me was, do you have the Power Beyond kit on it? And I went, oh no.
Right.
I didn't even think about that.
Right.
So I shot you a message and I was like, hey, can you go take some photos at the back? Because I don't even remember if I looked for that or not.
No,
I knew it didn't have rear remotes.
We didn't look at that.
So you went back there, took some pictures, and sure enough, you didn't have it. So they were like, well, we'll send you the Power Beyond kit. So I ended up doing 2 videos on that, the Power Beyond install and the rear remote install. So we got it on there, and Victory sent me a flail mower for that, the trim, which is, it's not their light duty. They have some light duties. It's kind of you'd call it, I guess, a standard duty, but it's a ditch bank, an embankment mower. And they sent that out to me, and it worked perfect with it. And I've used it. Like I said, I've had it for a few months, and I've put about 25, 30 hours on it, and all with that mower. And it's one of my favorite mowers to cut with. Yeah. Or favorite tractor mower combination. Right. I absolutely have loved it. And so the hydraulics it's awesome. Yeah. And there's, this is a 3 remote kit, so you can do a bunch with that. Right. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be really beneficial for you out here, and you're going to be able to cut some things that you couldn't cut. Yeah. And with a flow mower, it mulches, so it can be more strain on the engine. So like if it's wet, it can bog down because it's trying to mulch. But this one has a flap on the back that you can remove. Right. And it won't mulch. It'll actually throw it out. So it'll be a one cut, sort of like a rotary cutter. Right. And then you'll be able to come out. So you can it's a very versatile mower that you're going to be able to use with this tractor. I think that tractor is going to work out pretty well for you. I think this is going to be pretty cool. And hopefully the plan is for me to bring my big tractor out and us do some combo videos on that and show that off. Absolutely. What's the first thing that you want to cut? So this tractor.
Mom's. We're actually sitting here at Mom's property now, and we didn't get to cut her back portion of her property before you took the tractor because it was raining. And it rained, and it was just soaking wet.
It was,
and so there was no way to get the tractor out there at the time. And so it hasn't been cut since you took the tractor.
Yeah, it is.
We're sitting here looking at it now.
It's looking a little rough.
It's that's the first thing we're cutting, and so it's not that. It looks like it's tall, but it's not that tall. But
yeah, probably maybe 4 feet.
It's probably about 3 to 4 feet,
and it's scraggly. Yeah, so it's not like lush 4 foot of stuff. No. So I think it'll handle that just fine. Yeah. All right. So you ready to use it? You need me to jump on it and cut for you for a little bit first?
I think I can do it.
You think? Okay. So, all right. So a couple things. You've got your controls over here. I've got them split on either end.
That's right. Yep.
Eventually, you can do whatever you want with those. With the flow mower, there's just a couple things real quick to talk about. So you can cut in any orientation. You don't have to swing it all the way out. You can do it whatever you want. The thing to remember though on a flow mower is that it rolls on the roller.
The roller, right?
That's what it's not meant to be lifted up with the 3-point arms for height adjustment. Okay. The height adjustment is
the roller.
Dropping the roller. Yep. I think it can actually drop down a little bit lower than what it is. Okay. But this is pretty good. At least that's where I liked it. Yeah. And then you can adjust your top link if you want. You can make the top link to where it'll allow the mower to float. Yep. So if it's going over certain types of terrain where it kind of looks choppy, being held in a single position, you can allow it to float. Okay. What I like to do is I like to have that top link push the mower all the way back. Okay. And then I can start lifting the front of the mower up a little. Gotcha. And that will let me do micro adjustments on it. Now, one of the things that you have to be careful about is you don't want to ever push it up too far. Right. Because it has these little plates here. Some might have chains. Yeah. But that's protecting anything from flying up. Out, but if you push it up too far, things can come out. Yeah. And what they'll do is they'll come out at a low angle hit the ground and then bounce up.
Yep.
So you just kind of want to understand that.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're raising it enough to really worry about anything like that right now.
Okay.
So, all right, man. Well, it's your tractor. Crank her up. Watching us pick right up where we left off made me realize this tractor did more than mow a field. It brought two old friends back together again. It seems sometimes tractors are more than just steel and an expensive paint job. They're a reminder of the past and a promise of the future. Mr. Steve never got much time with this machine, but his influence is all over it. And now the 3030 AD is back where he wanted it and doing the work he hoped it would do. It felt a little strange driving home without the tractor behind me, but I knew it was where it needed to be. Well, I'd like to thank you folks for watching, and Lord willing, I'll see y'all on the next one.